Step one to learning Python is to make sure that you can run Python on your computer. So if you're on a Mac or a Linux computer, you need to open up your terminal. Now, Windows people, wait just a second here. So if you're on a Mac, go ahead and hit your launch pad. And if you go and scroll to Other, usually that's where you can find the terminal. My preferred way to open up the terminal is just hit Command Spacebar and just start typing terminal, and it will auto pop up for you. If you're on a Linux computer, you probably know what where your terminal is, as it's pretty integral to a lot of stuff that you do, and it's different amongst all the different distros in Linux, so you'll know how to do that. Now, if you're on a Windows computer, you want to use the command prompt instead of the terminal. It's kind of Windows version of that. So if you go ahead and start typing out command prompt, you can do that. There's also kind of a short key. If you just do CMD, that'll also bring up the command prompt. But either way that you type it out, go ahead and open up the command prompt. And once you have that there, you're going to be following very similarly to what we do on Mac or Linux. So now that you have your terminal or your command prompt open, the first thing that we want to do is check and see if we have the right version of Python, or if we have Python at all on our computer. And since we're using Django 3, we have to have at least Python 3.6. So that's the big key that we're looking for. So here inside of your terminal, just go ahead and type out Python space dash dash version. And if you go ahead and hit enter and you see some number, that means you do have Python installed. But as you'll see for me, this isn't 3.6, this is 2.7. So if you type Python dash dash version and you have at least 3.6 or higher, you're good to go. You're ready, you can do Python on your computer. Now, if you type this out and it's showing that you have 2.7, you can also try typing out Python 3 dash dash version. And for example, you can see on my computer, oh, I do have Python 3.7, which is higher than 3.6. And I just have to remember, if I'm going to be using Python 2 versus 3, which we're using 3 for the rest of this class, we never want to use Python 2. We're just going to have to always type Python 3 with our command. So go ahead and take a little mental note of that, however it is on your system. So if you don't have a high enough version here, well, then we need to go get the latest version of Python. So if you go ahead and just go to python.org, it has a very simple download. If you just go ahead and hit downloads and get the latest, and remember, we want Python 3. There's usually no other options for Python 2. This used to be a thing in the past, but because I'm on a Mac, it's showing for Mac OS X, but there's lots of different versions. Like if you're on Windows, I'm sure it will pull up that. Here you can see Windows, Linux, and they got a whole list of other ones, but go ahead and download that and run through the install. And once you've gone ahead and ran through that install, you want to go and close out your terminal or your command prompt, open it back up again, and then again try the Python dash dash version. See if that's high enough, and if that's not it, go ahead and do the Python 3 dash dash version. Okay? Well, but let's go ahead and now move on to actually typing out and learning some Python.